I understand why a lot of people who shouldn't do podcasts now, because there's something about hearing yourself speak that just drives your ego further and further. I'm joking.
Fuck. God damn it. Had to start with that.
Today's guest, I've known him for a couple years. I met him over at Huey Mac's house when I was flying a drone. Mike Stud and
Is that how we met?
that was the first time we ever met. I still have that picture on my phone.
At Huey's, Noah and Huey's house.
Huey's house. You were flying a drone over it.
What year was that? 2015, 14.
I could probably find it.
Yeah.
If we really care.
I mean, you can. But no, this is honestly, that's a great way to start. But yeah, dude, this is my boy, Jordan Wozy, director, editor, creative director, all around legendary guy in the space. Say what?
I'll let it be. I don't know.
No. Okay. But no, find that picture. But no, this is a good place to start because we did meet through Noah and Huey, which are good friends. And yeah, you were working with Futuristic at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that house was sick. I feel like that house was honestly a pivotal time in LA for all of us because that was like 2014, 15. We had just moved to LA and we would congregate at those dudes' houses, Mike Stud and Huey. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. We'll use like a picture.
I'll send it.
The caption says, if you can't read it, it says, "All amazed by the drone."
Yeah, that was 2015.
Dude, I think that's when the drones also had to no, it may have been auto, but I remember that when the first drones, I don't know if you remember when fucked with them, but they were on auto, so you had to like hold your thumb on the up like going elevation. If you dropped it would just drop out of the sky.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure then it was never what it is right now, but it was still amazing all of us to do.
Yeah. I feel like they got really popular around that time too. Like that was kind of like the emergence of all those, everyone was like, I got a DJI.
I was getting jobs just doing a drone op. Like I remember Mike Stud like just doing a video for Mike and like Ovi Orion and but like just to do drone opping for them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm wondering if I ever did stuff for you, because you've been you've carved a great path in LA over the last, let's say, almost 8 years or so. You've been here. You moved.
I've been out in California, Southern California, for 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
And that was right after college.
I came out here for college. So I came out here, graduated high school in 2012. Came out here, played football, junior college football for 3 years.
You were a linebacker?
Outside linebacker, D end. It was a fun time for sure. That was when literally football was life. I played my first year, and then my second year I got hurt, and then that's when I kind of discovered I always wanted in the back of my mind to go on tour and stuff like that. Like in high school, I'd always watch the Wiz Khalifa Day-to-Days or even the Kelly Visions or Ben Haggerty was doing the Schoolboy Q's. Yoder was doing Carnage. Those are like the OGs. Those are the ones that really got me oh my gosh, I want to do what they're doing. I want to travel and you just get to have fun and it just seemed like the ideal scenario. So for me, I kind of in the back of my mind, I always kept that in the back of my mind. And then when I came out here, obviously I've been obsessed with movies and TV, and I just knew I was so close to it all. And when I got hurt, that's when I kind of discovered playing around with my GoPro and editing more, and my friends and I would go out and we'd shoot videos and just lifestyle videos and just kind of have fun with it. And we created my first web series called Naughty with Nature, instead of Naughty by Nature. Shout out. And
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, they're old, man, but I'll show you. And I'm not.
Are they on YouTube?
Yeah, I think so.
I have some embarrassing videos on YouTube myself that I am gonna stop saying right there. But from high school.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
No, but that was kind of my first kind of just ideation of it all, and I was like, this could be really cool. And obviously a lot of my friends in high school, that was like the blog era. I know you remember like Good Music All Day and all those places, and that's how I found artists, and that's how I found, Futuristic and Jacob Owens. And then through there, it's like being out here, obviously, you can do this. I feel like you can do video and editing anywhere now, and especially now that things are more remote. Like I just did a job that was in Germany and
Mm-hmm.
in America, so that was cool. But like, basically it's like I was out here, Jacob had an opportunity. Jacob Owens was like, if anyone wants to come out and do BTS for me, hit me up. And I was like, absolutely. And I would go. I remember my first shoot I did with him was up in a building up in LA. It's like that glass looking building. It's a little distant from, I think it has like AT&T logo on it now. It used to say USC. It's changed out multiple times. I don't know. I remember they just filmed a scene of Entourage up there one time. It was like a rooftop party.
Nice.
But that was like the first thing I did for him. And then I stayed with him and just was filming as much BTS as I could for like his YouTube videos and
his artists, because he was close with Futuristic at that point.
Yeah, it was close with Futuristic.
And then Futuristic saw your skill set and was like, dude, I need you to do shit.
Yeah, I remember he saw me. I don't remember where exactly Futuristic saw me. I'm kind of blanking on that.
Was Super Duper Kyle before or after or at the exact same time?
Super Duper Kyle was after.
Yeah.
I'd known of Kyle obviously through Jacob and like his videos for him and stuff like that, and I was a fan. But yeah, I remember seeing Futuristic, and he was like, yeah, I need, I'm going on like a 2-week tour with me and Huey Mack, and I was like, dude, I'm down.
Yeah.
Like, I did that first tour for free. I was just like, I just want to do it. You know?
No, yeah, dude. A lot of those dudes, like, those names you just said, Futuristic, Kyle, Huey, Mike. I mean, even for me, like, these were the first few artists that we felt like, oh, we're hanging around and they're giving us opportunities to make content with them and our skill set. And give a lot of credit to, like, that was a good time, like 10 or 8 years ago or so, but like us getting our foot in the door with the right people that trusted us out the gate. It was cool. And
yeah, it was good times. It feels like forever ago now.
It really does.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, I did that 2-week tour, and I remember getting dropped off in Malibu at Cisco Adler's house.
Oh, nice.
And
was that the one that was up with the pool on the house, or no? That was
he has a pool like overlooking a little studio. Amazing little spot, or not little, but amazing spot for sure. And that's where I met like Goody Grace and Med, who runs Roxy. I remember we did a 2-week tour. It was all West Coast dates. We started in a RV. That was like my first tour was in an RV, but it was Schwaze's old RV. It had literally 3 beds, a couch, and I think there was probably like 10 people on the bus or something like that.
Anywhere you could find space, you fucking slept.
Yeah, I just remember sleeping on the couch.
But also for you, because your job as a tour content person, like, you're shooting the show and then literally dumping your card and trying to get them the content as fast as they can so they can post the next day. But like, that is just the craziest like work, flow that an editor, videographer like yourself has to do, and can be taxing on them. But kudos to you, because you started doing that, and we'll kind of get into it more as we kind of go through the story, but it takes a lot to do that kind of job.
I don't think, I think there's good and bad with anything in life. There's pros and cons, and I think one thing that people don't realize is how much work goes into like the tour videography stuff, because of the fact, and it depends on the artist too. Like there was an artist that I toured with that they're no longer around, in terms of just like they were a band and they just kind of disbanded. But I remember I went on like a 2-week run with them, and I was like, you know, going above and beyond, like doing recaps and photos, and they're like, oh no, you're good, you don't have to do all that, you know. Just very, I was just like, wait, what, you know, like this is weird, like,
Yeah.
you know, why don't you need content?
Yeah.
So I just remember, yeah, everything is like obviously all over the place in terms of like who's who, but yeah, it was like from futuristic to Kyle. Kyle was like a shorter run. I did a decent amount of stuff with him. He was coming back on the tour. They had just went on tour with, I think, Hoodie Allen, I believe.
Hoodie Allen, yeah. I did some.
They were making their way back, and they were doing kind of like the B and C markets. So that's actually something I found out with like touring is like, you know, certain cities are A markets.
I was just about to ask you, like, cause that's, I'm not too, A markets are probably like New York, LA, Dallas,
the big cities, Chicago, like, you know, all the places you would think that would be like
A market. And then B is like
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Like,
I was actually just about to say Indianapolis.
Yeah. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. And I remember like, you know, concerts were few and far in between growing up, and then coming out here, it was like, I was seeing so many concerts. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Just because everyone comes here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing with like Indiana is it would be that they would either go to Ohio or they would go to Chicago or Detroit. So it's like you'd kind of...
Philly, Pittsburgh.
That's a little farther east.
Yeah.
A little farther east. That's on the other side of Ohio.
Yeah, around the lakes.
Yeah. But just I don't remember like a lot of... My first big concert ever in Indiana was a big concert. It was Drake. And I remember it was like Drake, Waka Flocka, I think 2 Chainz, I want to say J. Cole. I think it was like the Club Paradise. I don't remember exactly, but I remember that was around the time the Wild Boy was out too. So I remember like screaming Wild Boy as Waka was out there, and that was, you know, super fun. So that was my first ever like concert experience in Indiana. And then the second one was Kendrick, and that was like the kind of like the prime TDE. So it was like J-Rock, Schoolboy, Ab-Soul, and that was Good Kid, Mad City tour. So like that was when he was doing like the, you know, you know, like the whole crowd would go insane.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember the entire crowd shifting forward, and we shifted like so many rows in front and got really close, and that was very fun. So good experiences when we did have concerts. So
yeah. And but you weren't shooting at the time, were you? You're just going, right?
No, I was just going for fun. When I started filming, I actually that reminds me now that I say this. That's how I kind of got my foot in the door futuristic. Was when I moved out here. You know, I'd go to shows and I would film stuff on my GoPro or like my iPhone. And I was unfortunately the annoying person that would film majority of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to do my best not to block the people around me, but I'd try to get as much footage as I could. And then I'd go home and I'd put together like little edits for these artists. And some of them saw them, some of them didn't, you know. And Futuristic had this thing where it was called the crowd dunk. And he would do like the Space Jam theme, and then he'd, you know, jump into the crowd and dunk on people.
Oh, really?
His DJ Cody would get up on someone's shoulders, or they'd hold him up, and then he'd literally jump.
Would they hold
crowd.
A basketball hoop?
He'd have like a little Nerf basketball hoop.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whole thing.
That's cool. Like Steve Aoki has his cake.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he did.
That was like his thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. He got some major air on a lot of jumps. It was very impressive. I don't think he ever missed one. I think I would. I think I would remember that if it was. I remember one time like the crowd just kind of collapsing in on them.
Oh my god.
So that has happened, but he's made majority of them. Yeah. But I remember I was in the crowd when he did it, so I had the first person perspective of like him literally diving towards us.
Yeah.
And I remember posting that, sending it to him.
Okay.
That kind of got him noticed.
Yeah.
And then he knew that I was working with Jacob at the time.
Yeah, put the dots together.
And then it was, that's kind of how that happened. So,
sick.
And I was with Futuristic for like 2 years,
mm-hmm.
doing, you know, all sorts of content, whether it was, you know, the online series. That's where I started my online series, where, you know, the first one I did with him was like live from the West Coast. And then it was As Seen on the Internet. Which I kind of got to like, I designed that album cover and creative directed a little bit more on that, and that was my first taste of that. And we started a clothing brand together.
What was that called?
Sheesh World.
Yeah.
Got all the way into like Zoomies.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. I wasn't with them at the time when that was happening, but I designed the logos and the initial gear and all that stuff. And that was when I was over with MGK, and I just was kind of, they had it taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And that transitions us to MGK, Machine Gun Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you were doing a lot a few years ago, and I think you have fans from them. Like, dude, you have your own personal fans of your work that follow you from that, and because you made things like Kelly Vision, you made his tour content, you elevated his content. I would say that you did when he was you definitely did, and you showed like an entourage of Kells with his friend with his band who are his friends.
Mm-hmm.
But why don't you kind of touch into how that happened with MGK, how you transitioned from Futuristic to Kells? Was it a reach out? Was it Dre? It was
just through connections of like, again, just kind of right place, right time.
Yeah.
And which is majority of how things go. And how it went was there was a guy on the Futuristic tours that I met named Ace, who's actually now Corday's manager.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew that name. Yeah.
Yeah, and he gave me a lot of starts. Like, I was doing Dizzy Wright music videos and Demrick, and he was kind of like helping me get my foot in the door with like music videos and stuff like that, because he needed help and I needed help. So it was one of those things. And so he had a good relationship with obviously Kells' crew, and he hit me up and was like, it was this weekend where he was just like, they need someone for a radio show, like the Wango Tangos type thing, which I actually ended up doing, the Wango Tango. And so he's like, hey, we need someone for a radio show, would you be down? I was like, absolutely. And I remember getting sent to his house, pulling up.
What year is this? 2016? 17?
I want to say 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you pull up to his house, that house that he had for the longest time?
Yeah. I won't say where. But
I don't think he's not there anymore.
He's not there anymore, but
no, it's okay.
That
house is cool though.
It's irrelevant.
A very entourage house.
Yeah, very much so, because they all would live there. I mean,
he literally was the most
everyone.
Like, I'm sure there's other artists, but what I saw from you, getting to work with MGK as well, was it was super cool. Like, he's the most not relevant, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but correlated to the Vinny Chase life with the drama, with his crew.
Sure.
Like, dude, all of them in that house, the fun they were having, the success, like, just on the come up of the success.
They've all come up together literally from day one. Like, majority of everyone you see around him has been there from the Cleveland days. Like,
that's what's so special.
Grinding it, getting it to where it is. Like, they're some of the hardest working people I know.
Yeah, they are. I mean, dude, Slim's whole career is his own career. Rook, I mean, all the Bays, they all have their own careers.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
even our boy Dre, who will take credit that he made us.
Yeah,
he'll always tell people, and I love him.
No, I'm forever grateful to Dre.
I asked Dre to do an episode on this. He said he'd be down.
Yeah, no, dude, he would have immense knowledge and stories for days, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we've gone through some crazy experiences together.
So you pull up to Kel's house for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
How was it? Was it hot or cold off the bat? Was it just like,
it was hot off the bat? It was great. Like, it was the day his album dropped, and I remember.
Which album was this?
Bloom.
Bloom. Cool.
And I remember the first photo I ever took of him was him coming out of the house with like a massive bouquet of flowers. And thankfully he was like, oh, that's dope. I like that. And I was like, okay, sweet. Step one.
Yeah. Awesome. Like my photo. Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then at the time I was doing like this little yellow font stuff underneath my photos, creating like kind of like a mood or feeling to it.
Like a caption.
Yeah, a caption.
Closed captions.
And no one was really doing that at the time with like photos. And
I remember that. That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I don't remember what kind of caused me to do it, but I was like, I'm just gonna try it. Like, obviously you get inspiration from old movies and stuff like that, or just in general with captions. But I was like, I'm gonna try it, and he saw that and he was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's different. So he actually helped elevate that by posting those types of photos on.
Cool.
And that kind of became like the styling for like Bloom. So that kind of bled then into the Kelly Visions that I made for Bloom era and stuff like that.
And the Kelly Visions are special. Those were, docu-series content on Kells. And I mean, dude, like I just remember people in LA talking about coming up to you, like being inspired by what you made there. But yeah, you want to touch on like what Kel's vision was there, and
Kelly really cool. Visions had been going on for years. Like I watched them.
Honestly, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine because I believe he kind of stopped doing them. Because he's literally the originator of them. He would film himself. Like he's always had this. He's manifested everything he's done. He's always had this drive to be where he is.
Yeah.
I remember asking one artist I was with, would you ever want to play stadiums one day or be like big arenas? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like,
that artist said like no.
And that literally made me go, okay, maybe I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And then you ask Kels that, and he'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I should be playing it tomorrow." Like type thing.
Should be playing yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. And and I agree. And obviously he's doing it now and crushing it in that regard. So, wow.
We were on Kel's vision.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about it. I mean, dude, for me, I remember my favorite Kel's vision you made was the Lollapalooza episode where he's up in the tree on some.
He's on shrooms.
Yeah. That was funny. He's in like because it's funny because I met you we already talked about how we met, but then I did I was on festivals for Aviator Nation, getting Aviator Nation content, but me and you had some run-ins at like Lollapalooza 2017, Kaboo. Like I remember running into you because I was like working for the brand that was doing the merch for the festivals, and you were doing that, and we would just link up and everything was kosher and great, and I was like, you would be like, yo, come on stage with me. I'm like, oh shit, okay. So it was like sick. This is sick that you were like bringing me in there. But I remember him being like that like silver surfer outfit, and like he was on shrooms, and he killed the set. Like Wild Boy was sick. But then I remember seeing your Kel's vision where he's like up in the tree in the artist village.
Yeah, no, that was a super fun day, and obviously Lollapalooza is an iconic festival, and so being able to go to that, I mean, just in general, like I think the coolest part of traveling and touring is being able to go to these festivals and see these artists and do these things, because it's like when their set is done or before their sets, you have the artist pass. You have the artist pass.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to hop on a golf cart or walk somewhere and experience the festival in a way, with obviously more access somewhat. I mean, like I couldn't always like get in a photo pit or be on stage because certain artists have certain rules, and the rule usually with media is like 3 photos and then you get out of the pit, and then, which was always my favorite, being with the artist, because then
or like first 3 songs, right? Or
first three songs. Or what did I say?
You said 3 photos.
Oh yeah, they only
use them wisely.
Yeah, they literally get 3 photos, and then security's like, get out of here, man.
No,
I heard like 3 clicks, no 4.
Yeah. But yeah, no, literally like, and for you, because you're with the artist, but all those press people in the pit, like the first 2 songs, then you're there and you're like, all right, tight, now I can do my thing. Yeah,
which is cool. But like, like with Kel's, he was pretty conscious as to like, moments.
Yeah.
So if he knew like, hey, I'm going to do something on the 5th song, he would extend then, okay, media needs to get this. It would vary obviously depending upon the day and songs and stuff like that. But I think, it is kind of nice when they clear out and you have full range of the space. And that is the coolest thing ever, is being able to film shows and go wherever, do whatever, and not really be restricted by anything.
Do you have a favorite festival or like time that you were with at a festival that sticks out?
There's a lot.
There's so many.
So many.
I could even extend the further question. So like you went all over the world with MGK. You went to Asia, you went to Europe.
Yeah.
South America probably.
No? Just
Asia,
Europe, Asia, and the US.
Was there any show or city that stood out to you that you were like, this is the coolest like festival or show or venue or city or anywhere in the world, like Tokyo or
I mean, Japan's really cool.
Yeah.
Like Tokyo, like I remember that festival was Yeah, that one was cool. I just like every crowd. I feel like everywhere is different, and I know that sounds weird, but like in Europe, I feel like those people are super appreciative that you're there. You don't see a lot of phones. It's just people that are like truly, truly passionate about the music and the artists, and you could feel that energy. And there was like one festival where they actually were lighting off flares. I have that in it's one of the openings to one of the Kelly Visions, where you'll see a massive crowd jumping and there's flares going off. It's intense, but it's like, it was really cool, and it was raining. It was just I don't know, it's just like,
Kel's probably loved that energy.
Oh,
Feeding off that.
Absolutely. And so I remember that, and I remember my last tour, we were in Russia. I got in the middle of the mosh pit, filmed that. I have that footage as well, where I'm literally in the middle starting the mosh. I'm spreading everyone out. Like, I literally see Kels. I'm like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
And then everyone, formed and basically swarmed around me. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. But you didn't break anything? Nothing
No.
That's good.
It wasn't, I mean, I don't think moshes are nearly as crazy as
they're portrayed to be.
Yeah. It depends, obviously.
When you led this content for MGK, like, I think you would do this, but you would like kind of put out, if you were in a city, like asking for other photographers, videographers. I mean, you were helpful. This is why you kind of created a good fan base, was you paid it forward. Yeah. You were able to, you really like were kept in your mind to like, as with the position you were in, you're like, I know where I got because I was paid forward. Yeah. I'm gonna pay it forward because I know there's people in like New Mexico or Arizona or like Iowa. Like, I remember you were reaching out and you'd make these connections, and then you would tell them like the deliverables to get. But that's a cool thing that you did for people,
Yeah, dude. I actually, I met a lot of good people doing that, and hopefully it helped them kind of.
No, there's people that won't forget. There's people that won't forget that,
that's how I met. That's how I met Drew Perez.
Oh yeah.
Druby.
Sick.
He was. We were in Asia, and I think it was Jakarta. And he hit me up on Instagram and was like, dude, I'm from the U.S. Would love to come help, and da-da-da. And he always says it. He's like, yeah, you didn't respond for a couple hours. You're like dead. I was like, bro, I'm sorry. I was busy.
Fucking busy, dude.
Yeah, I was like, trust me, it was not intentional.
Not personal.
Yeah. And he ended up sending it. He just ended up actually making the trip and hoping that I would respond. And I ended up responding.
Damn.
And he ended up, filming, and then came out and partied with us that night.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, this is sick.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm like, we're in the club. It's like literally like 4 a.m. and I'm like, I need to edit.
Yeah.
I need to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I mean, that's speaking back to that work ethic. I mean, it'd be like literally turn around was that night to get the kind of photos and videos for the people's socials.
Yeah. And that goes back to, what I learned from Jacob was just speed and consistency and quality is super important. And I think speed can be good, but the older I've gotten, the more I've done, I realize speed sometimes too obviously can cause errors and issues. So I think it depends on what it is, obviously, as to how much it needs to be rushed. Because a lot of the times I think we've found with like production, artists or labels or whoever it might be, the client is like, we need to buy this. And then when it actually comes down to the time, they're like, we could, maybe we could actually push this a little bit more, and it's like, because I feel like sometimes the product is really what's more important,
Well, it's
like,
going to live on. I mean, it's like, do you really want to rush this? Like, there was, I don't need to mention the project name or the people, but there was that one position we were in about like 2 years ago for a Kel song, but they were like, we need this done in a week, like, and it was a 6 feature with that, and it was cool. And it's like, and then they eventually made something that was cool, but it's like, yo, that you have an opportunity right now that like, why are you trying to rush this? Like, this is this song, and it did. That song, the video lived on forever. Yeah. And it was like, we were in a position where it was one of the first times we ever like kind of really evaluated the situation, because me and you have always just been like, fuck it, we'll do it.
Yeah, and we put ourselves in some crazy positions because of that, but also I think that helped us, obviously learn and figure out like boundaries of certain things and what is required, we definitely have been thrown into the fire, but they always say you gotta get burned before you can learn.
Yeah, and I think some of the thrown fires were, I mean, trying to think even back before this, but like, and this wasn't essentially thrown too much in the fire, but COVID, like, I remember COVID times, we don't know what's happening and stuff, but it's, 2020, and sticking on the MGK topic, like, he called you and he was like, I have this song, it's totally different, but I need to make like a video for James Corden because that's what all these artists were doing, was getting all his late night shows.
Right.
And yeah, me and you went over to his house and we just recorded in the street and we made it quick. And it turned out to be the first time. It was Bloody Valentine for what we're hearing, but it was definitely the first video or like release of Bloody Valentine into the world. And I just think that's cool because it really just came from Kel singing up a friend, someone he works with, being like, yo, I need you to just come over here. Let's go. I had the song with Travis. Yeah. We got to go to Travis Barker's house, which for me, and for you too, but like he was on my wall as a kid. Yeah. And that's definitely of everyone we've worked with, I've worked with, I think that's the coolest full circle moment for me to work with an artist of Travis because like 8, 9 years old, he's on your bedroom fucking wall, listening to all his music, and all of a sudden you're at his house. How do we? Let's doing the framing together. Yeah, and those are the cool moments that I love, and that why we do music videos. Yeah,
and it's cool when that person turns out to be cool. Like Travis is probably one of the coolest people. Yeah, and super chill and like very humble and nice. And every time I've been around him, it's very easygoing. And, he comes in, crushes it, and bye.
But for that whole transitional time when Kels went from rap to rock, like you were right there with him to help him make those visuals during the COVID times. We did Concert for Aliens also in Travis's studio. Yeah. Then we did the actual music video for Concert for Aliens. I mean, there was a point in August 2020, coming off COVID, production was at a standstill, but you and I were still working closely with Kels at the time. And the month of August was like, it was Concert for Aliens. It was the Netflix promo. It was the VMAs. Yeah. Like there was once a week where he needed stuff when he was on fire, and you were the guy he was calling to make it happen. Yeah. And then we were producing. But that was a fun time with that run right there. Because also it's like, is people gonna like this Bloody Valentine rock stuff? And obviously he always, you can speak into this. He always wanted to do the rock stuff.
Well, I think it's always leaned that way. Like obviously, I obviously can't speak for him, but like he had always been like, he would cover all the small things at his shows, so I think, and his live shows are set up for more of like a rock vibe, because he has live instruments, and I think that's something that like when a lot of people do see him perform live, they're like, holy shit, because it's like we're so used to just a DJ, and nothing against those people, but someone just having a DJ and that's it.
Yeah, like he can rip it. He can rip the instrument. He rips the rock star energy.
And there's just something about the live instrumentation that just obviously just adds another level of like energy and just like wow, And what's cool is they can riff, they can do different things, they can start playing music and
and Rook's like one of the best drummers.
Yeah, Rook's a beast.
Rook's a beast.
They're all very talented at what they do.
Those are cool moments to just be in the street with them, me, you, Travis, and Kels. That was it, and making some cool stuff that was viral, and like looking back on it, how big that song went.
Yeah, even like the Hotel Diablo stuff.
Yeah, the Diablo stuff.
Super proud of all that stuff. That was like.
That was my first time as a producer.
Yeah.
We had, that was my first. This is March now, 2019. We're doing the Hotel Diablo content. You were pretty much at the forefront of all the creative stuff for Diablo. We did a few, music videos off the album. You took care of a lot of cover art. We did those trailers. My first experience as a producer on my own reins was there. Yes. This is March 30th, 2019. Bro, like, we probably like an $8,000 budget. We just figure it out. And no lie, because I have no shame, I remember going out in the hallway and like almost tearing up. I'm like, because we were like, I think we had 2 complaints on the room, and like we are just like, and I don't want to blow it for you or Kels or Dre or anyone. I remember going there, I'm like, just like, dude, fuck, like, oh my god. And I remember Kels at the end, I was like, you did good, man, but god damn, I was so nervous that whole time.
Because we figured it out. I mean, that was a day where we all got there. We had.
It was a day someone died. Nipsey Hussle
died that day.
Nipsey Hussle died that day, so they were definitely in a sullen mood.
Yeah, but I think that type of stuff gives you perspective as well. Yeah. You're kind of like, wow, life is short,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, and that was a very like surreal thing. To obviously, I think we even heard like the sirens.
Yeah.
Like we were
I just
that
remember them
close to
pulling
it.
up, like they parked. It was like 5 or 6 o'clock, and I remember they parked, and we went to greet them, and they were just like not. They were so sad, like just
Yeah.
sad, like deadpan, like
Yeah.
monotone. Like they were just like fuck, like because it happened like 3 or 4 blocks away from where we were shooting.
Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was you will never forget that day for that reason, and then also just being that I remember we went in with like a certain plan, and then we kind of got there and we're like, nah, so
Yeah.
throw it out the window, and
Yeah.
then literally we're like coming up with ideas on the spot.
Yeah.
And
But
so,
those were cool videos that we made. We made like
Mhm.
6 teaser trailers for the album,
Mhm.
and I think those are special. Honestly, even like I know we've used them as examples to show other people and labels, but it's like if you can, yeah, like we made a little commercial campaign for Hotel Diablo,
yeah,
and that was cool.
I think what's cool about that, like obviously people have done like album trailers and tour trailers and stuff like that, and I think what's cool about those is you get to set the
Tone.
aesthetic and the tone
Yeah.
for the album and the world, and I think that's something that is important for a lot of artists.
I think it's overlooked. Like
It's
people
overlooked
don't
for
think
sure
about
now
it as
more
much.
than ever.
Yeah,
I think just in general with and how music has become, where it's
Yeah.
like, let's get the single, and
mm-hmm.
I can't fully speak on all that because I'm not a musician, so I can't fully speak on what is right or wrong to do now. But yeah, there's definitely been a shift and a change, and I think you can look at some of the biggest artists in the world and they have identifiable brands.
Yeah,
Like you think of Beyonce, I'm sure certain things start associating.
yeah. The
The
Weeknd.
Weeknd.
Yeah, Taylor Swift,
even
Post
Travis, Post Malone, Taylor Swift, like
Travis
Ariana.
Scott,
Like
yeah.
there's certain levels I think that are required to kind of build that cohesion, because then you associate certain things with those people, which can be good and again bad, because
Mhm.
some people are like, I can't get out of this.
Yeah, no, yeah. Some people like, yeah, be like can't get out of it. Even like it's funny going real quick, but like Cricket for our band, Kirk Kings, like we had an idea of like speeding up their song for TikTok, and like they're like, yo, we don't want that, because if we ever get known for that shit, like we will hate that.
Yeah.
So but some people like, I think Oliver's loving it right now with the Miss You stuff, but like
I think it works.
It works for certain people,
artists, certain
yeah.
songs. I think
Yeah.
it really does, because, yeah, man. Like I think with TikTok now more than ever, you get used to certain sounds, obviously, of like the song, and that could be like the best 30 seconds of that song or whatever, and then people hear the full song, they're like, I actually don't really like this.
I know.
Or like the hype doesn't live up to it, and like that's hard. I can't even imagine.
So yeah, the MGK era was good. Hotel Diablo, doing the stuff. I mean, we did the VMAs on the roof. That was iconic for in our careers. Yeah, I feel like that was fun with Black Bear and Travis and Kells on the roof.
Mhm.
And I just like also like I feel like you and I also do really well at squatting up with people we like to work with.
Yeah.
Like George as the AD and
Mhm.
Taylor Randall,
Mhm.
or yeah, we associate with good people, and that's what's really important.
And that's what I've always, that's what I've just learned through watching other people's interviews and podcasts and things like that, is like, collaboration's key in this industry, as well as working with people that you have the same vibes with, because, if you're working with someone you've never worked with before and you don't vibe on set, it's too late. Like you got to get through that day,
I always relate it, and I'm sure I've told you this and you get it because you're a football player, but like we're just out there playing a game.
Mhm.
All the prep is practice.
Yeah.
The AD is like the offensive coordinator. Like you're the head, like you as director is the head coach. He's there to call the plays that you
Mhm.
lay out. The G&E is the O line, because they're the big old angry guys. But if they're not happy, we can't score.
Yeah.
Like, I literally break this down like as a football game, but like.
That's
And like
funny.
and I like use like saying like hair and makeup, or the weather is like us losing, but we might be losing at halftime at lunch, but like let's get it back together.
Mhm.
But I always say that, and it just goes to what you're saying, like it takes a village, cohesion. Like if you're not vibing with someone, you're gonna miss your tackle or you miss your mark.
Mhm.
Like it's all so important. It's a team sport, really. All this
Yeah.
production shit is a team sport.
Oh, absolutely. You can't. I think that's something else we've found is you can't do everything on your own.
Yeah.
With this, it's you have to have that support around you in order to succeed. You know? It's overwhelming if not. You know?
Definitely. So one thing that you started to progress in now is the commercial world, and a campaign you did like, I'd say 2 years ago, which
2-3 years ago,
which I thought was really cool for Adidas.
Yeah.
And one of the most iconic characters ever, because I love Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore. You had
Shooter McGavin,
as I just did this. Was he doing this a lot?
Yes, the shooter guns a lot. It was in the script, and then also just all of us doing it on set. But it was a lot of fun.
And then who else did you have on set with you?
PK Subban, the hockey player.
Yeah.
So he was like our Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And then Roger Steele, who is a golfing like coach. So he'll teach golf, and he's like I believe a golf coach, and then just has like online videos and stuff like that, online presence. He was assigned to like Adidas at the time, and I think now he's with Nike. And then Tanya Taylor, who's like an amazing like trick shot artist with golf balls and golf clubs and stuff. So she had a couple trick shots, and it was really cool.
No, that's sick. And you guys, that was like a cool like collaborative shoe campaign.
Yeah, it was for a company called Extra Butter out in New York. They're like kind of like just a specialty boutique that has like high-end clothes and shoes, and Extra Butter deals with like movies, so they're obsessed with like movies and film. And one of my friends,
did they come up with the shooter idea? Or
yeah, just like with most brands and commercial campaigns, the agency, which it wasn't an official agency, but they were kind of like considered the agency, came with the idea. One of my friends, Beth, was friends with them and helped kind of like connect the dots, and that's how that connection came about. So grateful for her and the opportunity, and she did the photos on set and crushed it, and took some iconic photos as well.
The pieces were really good, and you edited them too.
Yeah, edited, directed, sound design.
How many? There's like 5 or 6 different pieces.
There was 3 different pieces.
Yeah.
But in total, we had like there was a good amount of sponsors on there. From the balls to the gloves to the golf carts that were like the scooters that we used. All of that was like different brands that then we created like little like 5 to 10 second pieces for. Yeah. So each brand had something individual that they could post on their pages that kind of like associated with them.
Yeah.
So like the scooter company, it shows like scooter like driving off real quick, and then you just hear like a quick sound bite, and then it's the logo.
Yeah.
And then like with the golf balls, it was like you'd see the golf ball, and then someone hit it, and then it's the logo. Just simple things like that. But that was kind of like planned in between, obviously shooting the 3. And then that was a wild experience. It was Extra Butter, Adidas, and Happy Gilmore.
Wild in just like a cool way where you're just like looking around like, this is what I'm doing Adidas commercial with Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, it was just wild in that sense where it was like we got to shoot in a golf course down by Torrey Pines, which is an iconic obviously golf course. It wasn't Torrey Pines, but it was down in like San Diego
area. You didn't rent the whole golf course, did you?
No. But we had like
a few holes
and stuff like that, and so it was like, I want to say it was the last hole and then one of the middle ones or something like that. But we first got there, we scouted, we kind of picked out what the holes we want, the different spots, and then from there it was a surreal experience. I remember Chris McDonald showing up on set the first day, and I was just like, wow, that shooter, and
was he always in character, or like, well, not really?
Not really,
okay,
no.
Okay.
I mean, but he was having the time of his life because he had the scooter that he could actually ride around. So I mean, he was just riding all around. So I mean, that was the thing, is the vibes on set I think were great.
Yeah.
Everyone was super like on it, professional, and so it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
For sure. And it was to the point where we were supposed to everything. We did 3 videos in one day.
Yeah, 12-hour day.
Scripted.
Yeah.
And we actually had to film the rest of it the next day. So it was a 1.5-day shoot. And we weren't supposed to have Chris the next day, but he ended up being just like so supportive
cool
of it
with
all, cool of it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll come back.
Yeah,
Sure.
sick. That doesn't always happen.
No, it doesn't. And he was super stoked about it. And I looked at it as like the perspective of like Shooter. You know, I was trying to almost make those videos live within the Happy Gilmore world.
Yeah.
And be Shooter McGavin's perspective.
Yeah.
Rather than us trying to like do Happy's perspective.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with the music and kind of like the edge to them, they're you know, they're goofy, but I think
they're great, man. They're great. And
cool.
I think that work led to we did a Bacardi thing last year.
Yeah.
Well, you did something. Was that same company?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
BBDO. So last year that led us to do a Bacardi spot, and it's funny because I was actually just watching HBO Winning Time last night, and just because I just put it on, but they shot at the Sinatra estate for that party scene with like the very first episode. But yeah, we got to shoot at Sinatra's house, which is fucking sick up in Encino, and renting that out for the day. And it's honestly, if I can ask you in a second, but if I'm going to do music videos or commercials, I like the things like the Adidas thing and the Bacardi thing a little bit better. It's a little more chill. Like you also said, there's other like branded stuff to deliver for them, and like other brands and labels are kind of on set or helping you do this rather than like one artist who's like, you better get this done in 12 hours or fuck you. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, my perspective, like doing that Bacardi one was just so chill because we just needed like 2 deliverables all day and nailing it all. And we had a good crew, Scott and Evan and Ava and people like that. But being able to go to like Sinatra's house and saying like shooting at Sinatra's house for me was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, question, awesome. As I maybe already know this answer, what do you prefer, music videos or commercials?
I mean, yeah, obviously I've definitely shifted more into branded and commercial space, and I enjoy it simply for the collaboration. I think you know, there's actually more collaboration within that process than music videos, due to the fact that, like, you know, the agency comes to you with an idea. There's creative directors, there's producers, there's all these people that kind of have a general sense, and you're coming to basically put your own spin on it and be like, hey, this is what I think it should be. And, you know, and it's not that like it has to be this way, because like obviously you saw me on set, I'm turning to Taylor and I'm being like, you like this? This is cool. Like, what if we try this? You know, and they're open to that as well, which is very cool. Well, like,
there's just a lot of trust, I feel like, more in that world than the other one. And also, like,
I think it depends though.
Yeah,
like,
I guess
you know,
it
depends for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think the biggest,
it definitely depends.
I think one of the biggest issues with the music industry right now is that, you know, obviously a lot of people want to direct, a lot of people want to create music videos, and as we found, like with TikTok, that really shook up the industry. And I think one of the issues is that, coming from working with MGK, being at the forefront of his album creation, being there as they're talking about the ideas and what this song means and what this is and how it relates, I think that's very important, coming up with ideas for artists and being able to collaborate with artists. Because I could literally pitch him treatments right to his face and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Do you like it? He'd be like, I don't like that part, or I don't want a story, or you know, it's like, then I'd go back and I'd reconstruct it, bring it back. And it was one of those things where I just think that's such a better way to do things.
Definitely.
And now it's like, you know, you get sent these briefs, and it's like open creative and this and that, and it's like
there's too many like middlemen too, and they're also just like they're like asking you for the ideas that, again, like, we don't own this intellectual property. They might take a little bit of that and sprinkle into that. It's
we've seen that happen.
We've seen it happen.
Yeah,
like,
we've literally seen.
This isn't like making up stuff. We've just seen it happen.
Seen it happen. It's a fact, you know, and it's
And that's why sometimes even right now I'm like, I kind of want to like develop, like, the relationship we developed with Dre is awesome. Like, we're able to still text him, we still have advice. Like, there's something more special when you have a relationship with the artist and manager direct than going through all kind of the politics game. And again, not saying it's bad, but there's something more special when the artist and manager come like, I want Jordan Wozy to do my videos. And then they tell the label it's good, but there's like just some way more like bone where you're like a collaborative bone.
Yeah, I think the process could be a lot better if, you know, there was contact with the management or the artists, and I appreciate the briefs that I get when they're like, we don't want this, or we're looking towards that, or this is the album creation, or this is the album art. Like, if they can at least give you some sort of information as to what that person's thinking, because it's like you could write a space idea and they're like, oh, we wanted Western, and it's like, well, how do I know that?
No, you told me,
and it's like you're supposed to do your research. Like, with some artists, I've done my research where
you do your research.
I'll go on Instagram, I'll go watch interviews, I'll try to find whatever I can.
Yeah, no, you're good at that.
That's most recent, because that's what's gonna help the ideas. I think,
you're definitely good at that. Whenever we have a project come about, you kind of like do a little like deep dive into like what they've been doing, their music videos, their cover art. No, you do it.
You have to, because they don't give you anything else.
You gotta do something for yourself.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah. If you get hit up by one of these people that were hitting you up on tour, back in the day, and they're saying like, I got a music video for an artist, and what advice would you give them? What advice would you give to like up and coming like music video directors? Young, up and coming, trying to do their thing. They don't have a lot of money in the world.
Do it.
Just do it, right?
Just do it.
Yeah, just go
Nike,
do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just go do it. Do whatever you can.
Because no, for sure. That's something that that was the mentality I had coming up, was just like anything that kind of came my way, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll try it. It's like you have to work to a point where you can say no. And I don't know that I'm necessarily there yet. There's still some opportunities that come in that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I think you go into a lot of these jobs now, or at least I go into the jobs now with more of an open mind as to what can occur. You try to not go in with as much emotions, but obviously if you care about something and you've spent time on something, it's hard not to be like passionate or emotional about it. But I think sometimes you got to look at it more objectively, which isn't easy, but
yeah.
So I would say to them is, take what you can, do what you can, and it will get you somewhere. Because that's what happened with me. I was just doing stuff for free with Jacob. He was paying for my gas money, and that was about it. He had a couple of free meals, and it was like, but I didn't care. I was just like, cool, I'm working with a director I like, I'm working with artists I like. It
goes a long way when you just get thrown in the fire, like we've said here, but also just like learning firsthand, like whether you're a PA or you're an editor or you're an assistant camera, like the best way you're gonna just learn and like climb this ladder that's untraditional and unorthodox is just literally just learning, just saying yes, and just like learning the wrong way.
Because you learn what you're gonna say no to. You learn the type of people you don't want to work with. You learn about the type of projects you don't want to work on. It's like you only find that stuff out if you do it. And I think it's I think that's the thing, is like, do it, figure it out, and then eventually you'll start figuring out the things you're gonna say no to. You'll figure out the people you want to work with, all that stuff. So just do it.
No, just do it. Nike, just do it.
Watch Air.
Air was great. I've seen it now 4 or 5 times. It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu?
Amazon, I think.
Amazon Prime. Yeah. We saw it together. That was a great movie. I'm glad you made me do that, because I haven't been to a movie in a minute. And you're like, dude, we need to go see Air.
I love movies. I mean, that was the thing, like in Indiana growing up, we'd all hang out at a mall and go watch movies. Yeah. It's like we'd hang out at like the mall movie theater. Yeah. And growing up, I'd go with my parents, my grandparents, family, and I'm obsessed with it. So like, when COVID happened, that really sucked, and not being able to go. And ever since they've reopened, I go every weekend, damn near. Yeah. Like I've seen almost every movie that comes out, I'll see it.
Are you gonna see Barbie or Oppenheimer first?
I'm thinking it's probably smarter to go Oppenheimer into Barbie.
Yeah. Barbie looks honestly pretty tight.
The darkness into the light.
Yeah. This movie, I'm curious to see how that is, because it's a great take on something. I think it looks pretty funny. Yeah. No, it looks wild. Dude, Ryan Gosling, like, as we know from what's that movie? With Russell Crowe? Nice Guys. Nice Guys. Yeah. Like, dude, Ryan Gosling has the comedian like in him for sure. And, I'm excited to see that, and then I'm excited to see Michael Cera as well. Yeah. Oh, he's in it? I didn't even know that. That's hilarious. Yeah, he's playing a character called Alan, which I guess was another male Barbie male or something person. Like that. Yeah. So the theme of this podcast, Nobody Gets a Podcast, is like the episode might be called Nobody Gets Jordan Wozy. What is it that nobody gets about you, or like your career path or your work ethic, or the things you believe in, or just anything we kind of talked about even on this episode about filmmaking? Like what can like tie in that nobody gets about yourself or any of that? And not saying like nobody gets me, but like I'm saying like what's an underlying fact or thing?
I feel like that's like,
It's a deep question.
I feel like it's a deep question in that like that's something like
Well, you said you already kind of answered it a few times. You're like, yeah, I say yes to a lot. Like nobody gets that. Like I say yes to a lot of things that turn into this.
nobody gets that silence sometimes is the best answer. No, I'm joking.
No, that's not bad.
I was just sitting here in silence, and it was like very peaceful for a moment.
It's nice, especially we can hear this waterfall.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I know this is something you asked me like for a couple of days, and bro, I've thought about it. I'm like, I just don't know. I feel like that's a type of like question or something when it's like people are like pissed off or like chipped off, like a chip on their shoulder about the world, and like it's like nobody gets me, and it's like,
yeah,
that's the connotation I get from it, and I don't know. I think I let people know the things that I want to know. As you know, I'm a very like outspoken person when I want to be. I'm very honest. I think that maybe is something nobody gets about me. It's like I'm very honest, and I will tell you the truth. And it's not meant to be like rude. Obviously, it's meant to just be honest. I think honesty is something that a lot of people don't necessarily have anymore.
I mean, and especially in this town,
not to say like anymore, but
no, but especially in this town, it's like there's a lot of fake it till you make it. There's a lot of just like false promises, false hope, false, hey, write this treatment, you're gonna get it. Never hear back from you. So I think like it is about, I'd rather people be honest and upfront about things than just like lead you on. Like I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I think nobody gets that honesty is the best way to go about it.
There it is.
Ooh.
There it is.
There we go.
See, there it is.
Yeah, it took me a minute.
Yeah, I think maybe I structured it wrong, being like, what is it nobody gets about you? What is it nobody gets about, something you've learned? Mm-hmm. I think that's how I need to structure it better. I'm learning here. This is episode 5.
Yeah.
And I'm learning on this podcast. Do you have any advice for me on the podcast? I know you said earlier I need to get some better feng shui up in here.
Yeah, I just think, branding. Branding.
Yeah, I need to put like a thing on the wall. Should I paint the walls? No, I can't do that.
Yeah, ask your viewers and listeners what can enhance the experience.
Yeah, if we ever have viewers besides our interns here, all you guys looking at us.
What do you guys think? Huh?
We can't ask them.
This is your time. Oh, is this the thing where they don't exist?
No, I'm just kidding. We can.
They'll start talking. It'll be like Charlie Brown, like wah 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 wah.
Yeah. Wah, 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 wah. Nah, dude, this was good. I'm happy we did this. I know I've been asking you for a long time to do this, and I'm happy the squad here is now pushing me to do this, because I think there's a lot of cool conversations that just come from we always have in this house. Mm-hmm. We're always coming up with like ideas, and I just think it's something cool to like show the people that follow you, follow me, follow this company, and get some perspective. Like I'm glad we asked some of the questions that we did, because I think someone's going to learn a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I hope so,
They do. I mean, just firsthand. Like, we don't even need to be teaching people. It's just the way we go about our work ethics in our lives, like, is can be reflected on other people. And I think there's a lot to get out of it. Mm-hmm. And I think we provide this knowledge, and that's why I wanted to do this.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for letting me do it.
Of course. Yeah. I wanted the core people to be the first few episodes. I'll touch into it real quick, but you've helped build Dojohouse. Like, there wouldn't be a Dojohouse without you, man, for real. Because you helped start getting these first directing jobs and giving me the opportunity to be a producer. For sure. We made Keizo in this house within the first 2 months.
Yeah, I think in total I've shot what?
4
or 5 videos.
4 or 5 music videos in this house.
Yeah, and they all kind of.
They got different looks.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Have, I mean, obviously.
We can't do any more.
Oh no. Anytime we're like, stretched on budget, and he's like, shoot at my house. No. I know. You're like, no way. It's okay. I'll get a new house next year, and we'll start shooting 5 more there. Oh yeah, just buy new houses every year, and it'll be good to go.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Sounds good, man.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks,
That's
bro.
the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some say I'm making moves, I say I'm making rules. Say I'm acting brand new, call the truce on 'em. Not wanna follow rules when I'm cooking up the brew. Gotta call the whole crew, sick the troops on 'em. Hey, stir the root thick in the morning. Hey, pick it up a notch like Normans. Hey, like the boot is soft like Shaman. Hey, fix your boiler bowl, I'm starving. Gon' hit the floor, gon' work that body. Don't hurt yourself,